Welcome to the next part. Last time we have seen the formation of the energy bands in the solid. So every solid has two energy bands present inside it, separated by a forbidden energy gap called the valence band, which contains the valence electrons, and then there is an empty band which is called as the conduction band. So using this band formation, we can have a distinction between metals, insulators, and the semiconductors. In case of the insulators, valence band is completely filled, whereas the conduction band is completely empty. And there is a large energy gap between the conduction band and the valence band. And this energy gap, Eg, is greater than 3 electron volt. For example, for carbon, this energy gap is 6 electron volt. Because of this huge electronic energy required for electrons to move from valence to conduction band, these electrons cannot be excited from the valence to conduction band by passing from the energy gap, because of which they will not be available for the conduction. That's why they act as the insulators. Then there are metals or the conductors, in which valence band and conduction band, either there is a very little energy difference between the two, due to which an electron, even at a room temperature, can excite itself to move from valence to the conduction band in order to conduct the electricity. Or then there is a other possibility in which conduction band and the valence band, they are partially overlapping with each other. So when this partial overlapping takes place, that means the electrons present in the valence band, now they can easily move into the energy levels of the conduction band in the overlapping regions, due to which electricity can be conducted by such type of the substances. Then there are semiconductors, for which the energy gap between conduction and the valence band is midway that of insulators and the conductors. At absolute zero, all the valence band energy levels are completely filled, while conduction band is completely empty. But if temperature is increased due to the breakage of some of the covalent bonds, some of the electrons, they will be able to cross over the energy gap, so they will be able to move from the valence band into the conduction band, due to which the number of electrons present in the conduction band and the number of the holes present in the valence band, they will be equal, and they will be responsible for the current conduction at a given temperature. So all the free electrons, they will be moving in the conduction band, and all the holes, they will be moving in the valence band to generate a certain electric current through the crystal structure. This energy gap or forbidden energy gap is 1.17 electron volt for the silicon, while it is 0.74 electron volt for the germanium. So because of this little energy gap between the two bands, electrons can be excited quite easily from valence to the conduction band, due to which these electrons, they are responsible for the increasing the conductivity of the semiconductors. If we take a look at the energy band diagram of intrinsic semiconductors, if we take a look at the figure A, which is at absolute zero, you can see all the electrons are present in the valence band. No electron is present in conduction band. But after increasing the temperature, some of the electrons move from the valence band to the conduction band, and they form an equal number of holes inside the valence band. So number density of electrons and that of the holes in a pure semiconductor is always the same. So whatever current is running through the pure semiconductor, contribution to the total current equally arises from the holes as well as from the electrons. But if we take a look at the energy diagram of the extrinsic semiconductor, first n-type semiconductor, there is a huge band gap between the conduction band and the valence band. But when a dopant atom called the donor atom is also added into the pure semiconductor, the energy levels of the donor atom, they set themselves just below the lowest energy level present in the conduction band. So this energy level is actually belonging to the donor atom of the group 5 element, which is setting itself just below the first energy level of the conduction band. So in this case, because of the very small energy gap between the conduction band and the energy level of the donor atom, electrons can easily be excited from the donor atom into the conduction band. So in this case, suppose sum of electrons are excited from the valence band into the conduction band, number of holes and the number of electrons present in them, it will be equal. But when conduction band will also receive some of the electrons from the donor energy, for example these electrons are received from the donor energy, the number of electrons present inside the conduction band, they will be more, whereas there will be no change in the number of holes present in the valence band. So in this case, number of free electrons in the conduction band increases greatly compared with the number of holes inside the valence band. So we call this as n-type semiconductor. But if we take a look at the energy band level diagram of the p-type semiconductor, here again forbidden energy gap is there between conduction and the valence band. When acceptor atom is added to make p-type semiconductor, the acceptor atom sets its energy level just right at the top of the last energy level belonging to the valence band. So in this case, this is the energy level of the acceptor atom, which is present at the top of the, just at the top of the last energy level belonging to the valence band. So here there is a very small energy gap. There is a very small energy gap between the acceptor energy level and the last energy level belonging to the valence band. So in this case, if due to thermal excitation, some of electrons move from valence band to the conduction band, so if 3 electrons are present in conduction band, 3 holes will be present in the valence band. But now if acceptor energy level is also available, in this case majority of electrons, they will move from valence band into this acceptor energy level, due to which what will happen, only acceptor energy level will be receiving the electrons coming from the valence band, which will not be able to move into the conduction band. So number of electrons inside the conduction band will remain same, whereas the number of holes present inside the valence band, they will be increasing. So in this case, the number of holes in the valence band are more as compared to number of free electrons in the conduction band. So here holes act as a majority charge carriers. They are responsible for the current conduction, whereas in the n-type semiconductor, electrons in the conduction band are the majority charge carriers and are responsible for the current conduction in the crystal structure. Thank you.